Number 19 on page 9.
Hang on one.
Resolution honoring Warren Jones. And I believe we have a couple of folks who want to speak to it.
Yes, sir. Ms. Clark Murray.
Thank you, President White. Through the President to Dr. Johnson, did you have something that you were going to offer in regards to this? Because if you are, then I will wait until you've spoken. Because I think you said pull also.
Since this is a point of information through the chair to Ms. Clark Murray, I did not, I found out that the thing that I was going to offer that I spoke about in rules is unfortunately not able to be put in as a resolution. It has to be put in as an ordinance, so no, there will not be an offering, but I did want to pull it to speak to the bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Clark Murray, does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you, Mr. Councilmember Johnson, through the President. So good afternoon to everyone. I am rising through the President to just say a few things in regards to this particular resolution. Everyone here who knows Mr. Jones or have heard of Mr. Jones, the Honorable Warren Jones, knows that he's completely worthy of this resolution and acknowledgement for his service that he has not only given to the city through this particular board, but also to the city through the Duval County School Board. But one thing I want to say, and I'm saying this out of a very lengthy conversation with the Honorable Mr. Jones, is that when we do resolutions, there are some who don't want to be surprised. And in this case, Mr. Jones did not want this resolution. And in his opinion, and his opinion, in my opinion, is the opinion that really counts, he is not finished. So this resolution is incomplete. In addition to that, he is, and he wasn't being magnanimous in our conversation, he was being very honest and open with me in regards to this resolution. He did not ask for it. It was not told to him ahead of time. And in discussing it with him, he said that he found out about it as he was watching a committee on TV. I was like, ooh, okay, that's very concerning. So with that being said, it's not that I'm saying not to pass this resolution, because once again, he's worthy of it, but one thing that we need to do when we pose resolutions, we need to make sure that we talk with the person who's being honored. We need to make sure that if that person is deceased, to make sure we talk with the family, to make sure that it is that person's will or the family's will. One other thing that I'm going to say in regards to this, so Mr. Jones, he lives in District 9, so he is my constituent. In addition to being my constituent, he is my mentor. And does he deserve perhaps a marker on a building somewhere? He does. But make sure that you work with the council member of that particular district before you pose anything in regards to that, because anything other than that is just blatant disrespect. Thank you, President White.
I have to get up and speak on behalf of one of the best friends in life I have is Warren Jones. I have learned greatly from him, and I spoke to him today too. And I know how to read a no from Warren Jones. Like, no, don't do it, or no, don't do it. And he did not want any recognition from this tonight. And I believe at some point he's going to get that resolution. He's going to get some kind of recognition one way or the other. But I always say this to my colleagues: before you name anything after anybody, and probably everybody knows this, you must check with the family, with the person who would be receiving that first, if they're still alive, and because the family is the one who really counts. So I love Warren Jones. Everybody in this community that knows him does, and we're a much better city on behalf of his hard work. Thank you very much.
Dr. Johnson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And with all due respect to my colleagues, unfortunately, while some operate without tact or couth, I operate with both. Not only do I have the messages that I shared with the family members to get permission to do this, but I spoke with them to get additional details, which is all evident from public record, which you can find, so feel free to pull it. What I want to say is I would certainly have been willing. What wasn't brought up by either of the two speakers before me is, Mr. President, what I did not realize was that when I wrote in to Legislative Services and to Council Research to ask them to honor Warren Jones's legacy and the work that he has done consistently in this community, I found out that Councilman Matt Carlucci had called in just a few moments after I did to ask for the same thing. It's a little bit interesting, though, to see now as we sit here on the dais to have this conversation. So I would certainly be willing to pull this legislation, but I do believe in it. While I understand that I, too, am a constituent of former District 9, currently District 7, where Warren Jones served for all of my childhood. He was actually a kindergarten classmate of my mother, and so as such, I've probably known Warren Jones just about a little longer than a lot of folk here. I knew him before I knew myself, and I'm honored to have been mentored by him when I was initially elected to office back in 1998, before some of the people that were elected here. I say all of those things because what I understand is to whom much is given, much is expected, Mr. President. And so when someone has done something exemplary in this wonderful community that we call Jacksonville, I believe that we should extol it. Now, while there may have been other conversations that have been held or had, I believe it is the right thing to do. There will never be another member of this august body that will serve as long as Warren Jones did. Due to term limits, no one can serve the 28, almost 29 years that he did. There has currently never been a member that has not only been a back-to-back city council president twice in a row, and y'all know how hard it is just to get to be one time, or a committee chair. Not only did he do that twice in a row, but he also chaired the Duval County School Board and has been a sense of pride and of purpose and of congeniality and friends with Democrats, Republicans, and independents. So that's why I put this legislation in, not to stop anything that Warren Jones may do, not to say that I didn't reach out and have conversations, because obviously Sunshine Law, permitted it, but if there were questions, it certainly could have been asked via a noticed meeting rather than opining on something that was totally incorrect and unfactual. But the reason I put this in specifically was so that a grateful city who has seen its son go from a little boy over in Forest Park, attending Forest Park School, rise to the heights of power, a person that came from Mixontown, just off Stockton Street, where they said good stuff maybe don't come from in that vernacular. He has risen to change the temperature of this city, and someone that we can respect. And that's why I wanted to just say, from a grateful city of Jacksonville, to former Council President and Board Chair Jones, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
For the second time, Ms. Murray, please no applause. Please put 3 minutes on the clock. Ms. Clark Murray.
Through the president to the body, once again, we all know that Mr. Jones is worthy. He is worthy. But once again, you take the person's will under consideration. And once again, I spoke with him, not once, but twice. And it's not that I want you to vote this down, because I don't. Once again, he's worthy. And it should be yes all the way around this dais. But the main thing is to make sure that you check with the person who is being honored or their family before you decide to present a resolution to the public. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, 3 minutes.
End this by saying I just received a text message from former Council President's wife and said, if there's a question, Mr. President, let them know you talked to me. Thank you, sir.
Please respect the rules. Open the ballot, record the vote. Y'all please don't crosstalk, please. Thank you.
18 yeas, 1 nay.
By your action, you approve 2024-964.